Yeah, so, and this is new to me. So the last few years, Slack has been our internal communication tool. So basically,
Huge.
instant messenger on steroids, but it does a few things. It shrinks our sales team. So it makes them feel like they're part of a team. They're learning from each other, best practices,
Mm.
but also disseminating information as quickly as possible. So if we're running a special deal or if there's some opportunities, to help each other close certain deals, to share best practices. So we use Slack as definitely our tool, and I recommend any company to use some kind of internal communication tool to keep that information flowing. Uh, Obviously, with SRU, that's our recruiting technology, and I can't imagine anything being better than that in terms of if you're trying to scale sales teams. Um, as far as our marketing technology, so one thing that we do, it's not necessarily technology, but we encourage all of our sales team to come up with ideas of marketing. So if they want to go run a farmer's market and get into the neighborhood, you present us a business idea of how you're going to implement it, and then we'll fund it. So we'll back it up with the
Wow.
capital, and you go and implement it. And I think whether you're a roofing contractor, a painting contractor, anything, empowering your sales teams to come up and think like an entrepreneur, come up with business ideas, create a business plan, sell it to me on why you think it's going to work, and then we'll back you 100% with the money. And that really creates an awesome partnership from a sales side and growth.
That's a
Uh,
freaking awesome idea. I
yeah,
love that. I love that. Because not all the people, because you have a 1099 sales role, not all of them are entrepreneurial, right?
mhm,
But some of them are, right? And
yeah,
they have that creative side of them that needs to be kind of fulfilled, right? I think this is super cool because it allows them to be kind of the entrepreneurs or the entrepreneur within the business. And something that's important to note too, this is not only you trusting people and coming up with new ideas outside of like the leadership, but it's also you kind of maybe fulfilling some type of creative outlet for your salespeople. But you're also investing, right? You're investing into them. Like I know for sure those things have impacted heavily the retention of those people that have been able to do that within Southern Turf, right? That's huge and super unique within your business. That's super cool.
yeah, no, I appreciate that. Um, and then a hack that I learned when I was really young, starting my painting roofing company. Back then, it was Yodel and Yex and all these other companies that were up and coming. They would call me every day, pitching me some service. And
Yeah.
usually it was a pay-per-click or SEO or whatever it was. And most people would take those calls and just hang up on them. I'm not interested, right?
Mm.
I would let them pitch for 30, 40 minutes, whatever they wanted to tell me. I would take notes. And basically, they made a business out of something. So whatever they're telling me obviously works. And so I would
Mm.
reverse engineer it and figure out, can I do this on my own? Is this something I can implement? And so I learned a lot of my early technology in marketing and strategy just from big companies coming to pitch me. And originally, you guys, I found you, as a recruiting part, but you guys kind of walked me through what you were doing. It wasn't something that I wanted to be able to tackle on my own. There were too many moving parts, a little bit outside my wheelhouse.
Yep.
But if it was something that I could do, I'd probably try it before I hired the company and see, if I could do it. And if I can't, then I go back to the company. But these are just some ideas of
Yep.
how I grew the business fast. Early on with YouTube videos and
Yep.
uh, online reviews is a big part, obviously, for credibility. And when it comes to getting, online reviews and growing the business, I think it really comes down to if you incentivize your people the right way, and if they're rewarded the right way, people will rise up and take the action.
Yeah.
You also have to create the infrastructure and teach them how. Is there a script? Is there a specific text message? Is there timing
Mhm.
to it? So while you can always just pay someone to do something and get the results. If you
Yep.
do create the knowledge and the process along with incentivizing it the right way, I think
Yep.
that's when you really explode and have the results kind of take off.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's go on to the brand stuff next. One thing that you mentioned, I'm glad that you said it too, because we're about to redo like all the SRU online stuff. In that I was kind of like 75% sure I wanted to recommend Slack communication to everybody, right? Outside of onboarding training, the one-on-one meetings for sales managers, team meetings, that's like you need like a constant communication opportunity with your team too. So I'm glad that you said that because I agree. So Slack is just a communication tool, and I think you can scale it with just the free version.
Yeah, I mean, you can do a lot with the free version.
Yeah, I think that's what we use is the free version. Do you have I imagine that like within your sales team, do you have like, is it like you know, Atlanta
I
16 and then, You
Yeah,
know,
so we'll break it down granularly by city. We'll do internal, so our admin team will have their own channel, the sales team will have their own channel, then we'll have a big company channel that everyone can be a part of.
yep,
So you can slice it and dice it a lot of different ways and
yeah, yeah, love it. So Brand, what this is something that you've been working on for 15 plus years, right? So when you think of the word, or when you hear the word brand, like what comes to mind first?
yeah, I mean, the goal and the dream is that if one of my people go out, in Arizona and they do an estimate, it would feel the exact same way if they did it out in Houston or Dallas.
Mm,
Um, that's brand, but for us, it's more about, we want to be an educational based sales team. We want to educate our clients. It's not a one call close. We're not trying to high pressure anybody.
mhm,
Sure, does this fit your vision, right? And so, gear is important. And again, I would tell young business people, there's cheap gear and then there's expensive gear. Find something in the middle that looks clean, that looks professional. You don't have to
mm.
break the bank, but you can go a little bit over and above to show quality, right?
For the gear stuff, like the polos and stuff like that, when do you when do you provide that stuff in the onboarding process? Do you let them get like a few days in, or do they get that day one or 1 to 2 weeks after? When do you
Yeah, so we want to get all this gear in front of them day one because
yeah,
that's really a part of kind of showing professionalism and credibility with the clients.
yep,
Um, business cards matter. So, you can go cheap business cards, you can go higher end business cards, but just giving someone, it's not about the card itself, but it's showing someone, hey, I'm in this for the long run. I'm not going anywhere.
yeah,
Because nine out of 10 contractors are going to walk in, not branded, maybe a notepad, and they're just going to, write down a price on a piece of paper.
yeah,
Most people are not going above and beyond, having consistent, proposals, digital proposals and things like that.
yeah,
Uh, but all of our products and turf is branded, locally. So, in Austin, you might have a specific turf that's more branded to a location in Austin versus in Phoenix. We'll call it something different to kind of make it feel more local.
yeah.